Hello everyone, Michael Wolf for WatchReport.com. Today we're going to take a look at the most recent release from Obris Morgan timepieces. This is the Aegis. The Aegis comes with three different case and bracelet finishings, brushed, blasted, and DLC coated with various dial options and secondhand coloring, writing coloring on the dial, etc. And what you're seeing here is the DLC with the full Lume dial. The watches range from $279 to $299 depending on your finishing. The DLC finishing, which you see here, is $299. Now these watches are currently the first batch or the first run has been sold out. There is a second batch that is due sometime, I believe, in May to June, so just keep an eye out for them, and because I guarantee you they will go fast. As with everyone that knows anything about Obris Morgan, we all know that Justin, the owner at Obris Morgan, wants to provide the best watch possible with the best specifications at the lowest possible cost to the consumer. And I think based on what you see in this particular watch model, once again, you're going to see that they hit a home run on this particular model in the Aegis. As always, I wanted to start off by showing what it looks like on a 7 3/4 inch wrist. Fairly modest case size. I think pretty much anyone 6.5 up well over 8 inches as far as a wrist size is going to be quite pleased with the way this watch will sit on the wrist. So there you go. Let's get this off, talk about the watch a little bit. And we've got a 42 millimeter case, and it is 11.5 millimeters thick. So this watch with this thickness is probably going to wear, I haven't tried it yet, but more than likely it's going to wear really nice underneath a dress shirt cuff, even if you wanted to dress it up. As you can see, helium release valve on this side of the case. The lugs are 20 millimeters in width, and the lug tip to lug tip is a little over 53 millimeters, I think, is based on the specifications from the site. A great feature that you're going to see here on the case, which I think it's really important in my opinion for any watch, especially PVD or DLC coated. Again, this is DLC, which is diamond light coating. Important to have drilled lug holes to where you can swap out straps and bracelets a little bit more easy without marring up the underside of the lugs, because that especially if you're like me, I have a really hard time changing out straps, so I prefer the drilled lug holes. It's 220 grams approximately in weight, so even though it's a modest size, like I said, at 42 millimeters and at 219 grams on the bracelet, that is that's a really nice weight. It's not going to feel overly cumbersome whatsoever on the wrist. We've got a 120 click unidirectional rotating bezel. This bezel is very firm and precise. Let's see if I can get so you guys can see. I mean, there's no play or anything in this bezel. Very nice precise clicks. It is a metal insert as well, and you can see there is a Lume pip at the 12. Now, at a $299 price point, one of the areas that, again, you might think that there's going to be a shortcut or a lesser material utilized, and I guess it's all relative depending on what you think of as lesser material, but this watch is fitted with a 2.4 millimeter thick sapphire crystal with an anti-reflective coating. So, and that anti-reflective coating is on the inside as well, so you don't have to worry about any scratching or chipping away at that that AR coating on the outside. And then we've got below the sapphire crystal, great dial layout. With it being a full lume dial, it's great that the markers are all in black and the writing's in black, except for Aegis, which is it's, to me, it's a somewhere between a red and an orange is the coloring of the Aegis writing down here above the 6. Real nice legible date window. And let me go ahead and crank off, since we're talking about the dial, let me crank off the lights. Let me charge it just a second there, just so you can get a better feel on a charge. There you go. Really nice lume. Now, it's C1 Super Luminova on the full lume dial. Now, the one thing that I notice after the lume fades a little bit, because the hands are actually lumed, sometimes the hands can fade into the dial a little bit. So one of my suggestions would be the next time that a lume dial is produced, just go ahead and have a solid black handset as far as the minute and hour hand is concerned. The second hand, that's perfect, being it's a nice blue color and it's got lume on it. That's fine, but just black out the hands completely. That way you won't have the potential for those hands fading into that dial. But as you can see, pretty nice charge, just quickly under a light for just a few seconds. So turn this back on, and real nice smooth sweep second hand. Again, another area where bang for your buck. This houses a Miyota 9015 automatic movement. Everybody loves the Miyota 9015. It's turned out to be a very reliable, smooth, well-functioning movement. Look at the crown real quick. This is something that on the past Obris models, I think there was only one that was ever produced that had the crown at the 4. Now, some people like the crown at the 4, some prefer it at the 3, some prefer it over at the 9, or wherever they may like it. But one of the things that I like about the crown at the 4 over the 3 is sometimes it doesn't dig into my wrist over here at the 4 as compared to how it would sometimes at the 3. This watch wouldn't have mattered either way, because the crown, as you can see, it sets back in those crown guards really nicely, and it doesn't dip down below the case bottom at all. It is a screw down crown, buttery smooth action. It is probably one of the stiffer crowns that I've encountered recently. And then obviously you've got the Obris logoing on the crown face. Very simple, plain case back. Now, with being a DLC coated watch, I was a little surprised. Sorry, I can't get a good view on that case back for you. But with being a DLC coated watch, I figured that they would have left this uncoated, because that's going to get marred up if you ever have to go underneath them, do something with the movement or something. Now, super engineer bracelet, and it is DLC coated as well. Now, the one thing that I will point out, this is a nice 5-link bracelet, and there are screws, single-sided screws that hold the links together, which is really nice. Just make sure you have some Loctite handy, because if you don't Loctite those down a little bit, they will work themselves loose. But in my opinion, it does make for much easier sizing to have that one-sided, single-sided screw-in link. Now, again, bang for buck, but sometimes when you've got that bang for buck, you're always going to find something that could be a little, I don't want to say short or lack in quality. It's really not. It's just, you for $299, you cannot expect to have a DLC coated bracelet like you would for a watch that you're going to pay $8,000 or more. As you can see, the DLC coating between the links it's not quite as refined. And then you can tell obviously that the bracelet was DLC coated after it was assembled, based on the way the interior of the links look. But again, $299, that's expected. Still a quality bracelet, but I did want to point that out because I didn't want anybody to get this home and say, oh, well, the bracelet's not coated very well. Well, it is. For $299, it is coated well. Now, also on top of the great value that the watch presents itself, you get a really nice dive case, which I'm not going to video here, but just some other things that you get. You get extra spring bars, a really nice tool, and it is a screwdriver and a spring bar, flathead screwdriver for sizing your links, and then a really nice leather strap with matching buckle, or excuse me, rubber strap with matching buckle. So here you have it, guys. This is the Obris Morgan Aegis. This is the DLC full lume dial. It retails for $299. Great specs: sapphire crystal, Miyota 9015. Outstanding case finishing, helium release valve, drilled lug holes, screw down crown, very tight, firm bezel action. Would be a very reliable snorkeling and dive watch. Not going to have any problems there. The water resistance, I don't think I checked on that, but I believe it's 200. Yes, it is. It's 200 meters. So yeah, you're going to be able to dive with this without difficulty at all. And again, the bezel won't knock out of place easy, so shouldn't have any problems there. I would like to thank Obris Morgan for working with Watch Report on providing this watch model for review. Would like to thank each one of you for watching. Stay tuned for our next video presentation here on Watch Report.